Good morning. Welcome back from Sports with Ruben Impima Kasera Chibirango. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra, an extension of Good Morning Uganda. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyintano, and welcome to this particular part of our broadcast, which is very interesting. Why am I saying so? Because today we are going to be discussing something that many people talk about. Many people even have on their vehicles, sometimes on their motorcycles, but they may know little about it, and yet they pay for it. Many problems that would have been solved, yet they remain challenges, yet one already paid for the service. Now, they want to discuss issues of insurance. Do you know the meaning of insurance? Do you have any insurance cover? Very interesting also is we are going to be discussing saving through insurance. Have you ever heard of that? Or we only know that you need to get an insurance to guard you about fire, burglary, any form of theft, accidents, life-threatening conditions, but saving through insurance. Well, all we need is your concentration to be with us here, and we learn, because life is full of uncertainties. You never know when what will strike. By the end of the day, is there a fallback position? You have some form of shock absorbers when these life-threatening conditions occur. Now, join me to welcome Bengo Badiru, who is a life, medical and pensions officer at the Uganda Insurers Association. You're most welcome, Bengo.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be a part of this program.
Now, for starters, let's begin by understanding, when we talk about insurance, what does it mean? We've had border people talk about insurance, there's third-party insurance, there's comprehensive insurance for certain class of people, most of their vehicles and all that. Let's just have a simple definition of this word insurance, or what we refer to when we're discussing about insurance.
Okay, insurance, for starters, insurance refers to that arrangement you go into with a licensed provider to provide protection against risks that are uncertain, that at the time of taking the policy, you might not be aware of them. Mm-hmm. You might be aware of them, but you don't know the likelihood of them happening. So that's the uncertainty we are talking about. So insurance is that arrangement where now you seek to have protection against that uncertainty, or that risk that is uncertain, so you go and protect yourself against its occurrence. So this could be in the sense of theft, it could be in the sense of fires, it could be damages, and then also on the side of we ourselves as human beings, it could be death. Death, we know, is certain, but in a way it's uncertain. The likelihood of it happening is there, but we don't know when it will happen. So you come on board and then say that can I have a protection against that unknown risk, which is a death? It could also be incapacitation. Incapacitation, or it could be what we call disability. Or at times now we have had an extension into things to do with critical illnesses. The cancers, the hypertensions, the organ transplants. So you go and have protection against that sort of event in the likelihood that it happens. So life insurance would necessarily be that contract that you go into with the company to protect you against death, disability, critical illness, and incapacitation. I've talked about it as disability. So that if it happens within a specified period of time, we tie it to a certain period of time. So if it happens, then at least you know there will be some sense of financial relief. There will be a benefit. You get it? So you go into a contract with a company and then say that, okay, for these 10 years, give me protection against unexpected risks that might befall me, like death, like disability, like incapacitation, which is disability, or critical illnesses, or we have had also an extension to have the funeral service be arranged with the death. So that contract is what we call a life insurance policy. Then on the other side, it might not be a life policy, but it could be a policy against a risk that you know might happen, but you don't know when it will happen. Like death, so like fires, like damages, like theft, like damages we're talking about, damage to the car, damage to goods in transit. It could also be obligations that you have to third parties, like product liability, like activities that you engage in that might endanger the people who are surrounding you. They could also be as a result of the car you're using, so you endanger or you cause harm to a road user, a pedestrian. So that's what we call the third-party liabilities. But what is most common is the motor third party, which is a requirement. It's a statutory obligation for you to own it when you're using a car or we're using a motorcycle on our roads. So that now you're protected against the damages or the bodily harm that you'll cause to another road user who might not necessarily be you or your family.
Very interesting. Now you've defined that, though later on we'll look at how these have really been helpful. Now for today's topic, which is a saving through insurance, what are we referring to? Because I know I put my money to cover me in that time. Do I open up a savings account with insurance? Let's begin by clarifying that and letting our public know, yes, you've given us the various forms, but what is this that maybe seemingly is new to many people?
Yeah, savings in insurance would necessarily mean, like the way it is, you save through insurance. I've talked about insurance as being that contract you're going to with the company, where you're provided protection against a specified risk, which is a death, which is disability. Disability could be in the form that you cannot be able to work. What we provide is a benefit cover, where we give you a specified amount of money. Maybe the other thing which I didn't tell you, insurance on the basis of indemnity. We put you back to where you were before that risk happened. That's why you see insurance, you don't seek to profit from insurance. The principle of insurance is on the basis that, okay, this has been taken away from you, so we put it back. But then we have policies which are on the basis of benefits. So we give you a specified amount of money in the event that that specified risk has happened, like death, because death cannot be quantifiable in terms of how much it is for you to I mean, we can't quantify death in the sense of how much we can give you for you to die, but we put a benefit for you, or you select a benefit that you can be able to afford in the event that that risk has happened, like death. Now, with that, we move away slightly, not only to talk about death, but also to have that arrangement where you also save. Because remember, I've told you that you choose a certain period of years, let's say 5 years, and then you seek to protect yourself against those risks which can happen to you, like death, like disability, like occurrence of critical illnesses, what we call dreaded diseases, like the cancers, like the hypertensions, organ transplants. So you seek to protect yourself against such risks by getting a lump sum to cover or take you through that period. But again, there has been a feel that now that period can pass and nothing has happened. Now that's where the savings now comes in. So that amount of money that you pay not only gives you protection against that risk which is specified in the policy, but also it acts as a savings tool in the event that you've finished off all the years and nothing has happened. So you get all your money with the savings. So that's the idea which we want the people to embrace, that you can also save through insurance. For instance, you can be paying let's say 50,000 per month, which you pay for 5 years, to protect you against a specified amount of, rather to give you protection against an event like death. But in the event that nothing happens at the end of the 5 years, then you get the money you put in together with the savings. Yes, rather together with the interest.
Oh, so there is return on these savings.
There will be return, yes, there is return on the savings.
Now, this brings me to ask, what has been Ugandans' perception of insurance, or insuring the different packages, apart from that which is compulsory? How are we perceiving insurance? Because when you move out to Uganda, also in Europe, insurance is a very big thing. When someone to do business with you, they want to know, are you insured? You're selling me these goods, are they insured? Any transaction, insurance matters, because they believe in case of any uncertainty.
It is part of them.
But today I see schools banned, and that's the end of it. We see someone's business, either it's burglary or fire, and that is the end of them. Whereas in other countries, the usual will be, well, it's just contact my insurance. I think there's only one person a politician, that was Mamerito, who I think they burnt his car, something like that, and he got the same mode of car and said, well, my car was insured, I had a comprehensive insurance. So how are we perceiving, how are we understanding, how are we receiving issues to do with insurance?
Yes, that is a good question, and thank you for that. In this part of the world, especially Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, if you exclude North Africa and South Africa, because at least the population there has appreciated insurance. They have copped a leaf from developed countries. Now, this part of Africa, people have not appreciated insurance for various reasons. There are levels of we have some levels of financial literacy that cannot be watered down, but also people have low disposable income, and people think that insurance is quite expensive. When you talk about insurance, people will be like, you guys, I mean, there has been that connotation around it that insurance is for the rich, and even in the outreaches, yes, and even in the outreaches that we've had, people have felt that insurance is for the rich. Like that example which you gave out for that politician, if people hear that he was paid out, then they'll be like, for him he was rich, he's a politician, he's rich, maybe for them they can afford. Not knowing that also there are arrangements to take on people who are having low levels of disposable income, the poor people. These products, we call them micro-insurance products. So appreciation of insurance we are still fighting on it through advocacy, through the different campaigns, through tailoring different products to suit the needs of the various people. But still, people have not appreciated insurance in the sense that they think it doesn't pay. One reason, they think it's quite expensive. They think it's not even meant for them. So for them, they think insurance is another thing altogether. But the public needs to understand that whoever you are, there will be a tailored package for you. For instance, people don't know that you can put aside 2,000 shillings a month to have protection against any of you, rather to have protection against, not protection, but to have to be given a financial benefit in the event that one passes on, of even up to 1 million. You put in 2,000 a month per day. For instance, we have packages where you can pay for as low as 75,000 a year. How much? That is almost 2,000 shillings per day, rather 2,000 per day. And then you are eligible to get 1.5 million on death. 1.5 million on death. Because even if you are to put it in simplistic terms, how many years will it take you to raise 1.5 million? When you're putting aside 75 million, those are almost 20 years. Those are almost 20 years. Now here we are providing an option for you in the sense that put aside it 75,000 shillings a year, which is roughly 2,000 shillings a day. 2,000 shillings a day is it's something which is quite affordable. then at least you will be rest assured that in the event that either a person, any of the people I know passes on, who is also contributing, the family I've left behind can be taken care of by a financial benefit of 1.5 million, which is not quite bad, yes, given the low levels of income that we have as a country. And in the event that one passes on and you get a financial relief of 1.5, it can take you miles. It can take you at least.
Buy a casket.
Yes, yeah. Not only even a casket can take the family for a while. A casket, an average casket, can maybe cost around 200,000. So at least that money can take the family for, I mean, for some time.
Fix your
yes, if you are to go at a daily expense of around 5,000 a day for an average family. Forget about the Kampala family.
No, 50,000 idea. 50,000.
Yes, that is the Kampala standard. But an average family, let's say in Katakwi or Selede, can live off 5,000 per day, because at least they have food in the backyard. So they just need maybe 2,000 to buy oil, to buy soap, and to buy maybe sugar, and survive. So what I'm putting forward is that 1.5 is something which can take you for quite some time. And you know how much you're paying? You're paying 2,000 per day.
Now, Bengo, let's look at who is eligible for this saving through insurance. Of course, we know Ugandans, we don't have a saving culture.
True.
It's very rare. Even if you go to our banks, you'll find that if you're looking for people who have fixed deposit, there'll be very few. People want to have their money there and remove it as and when they should. Others only go to the banks because maybe their job requires them, that you have to be paid through a bank. Otherwise, they would go to the port or have money around them. So with this saving through insurance, who are you targeting? Who qualifies to do that?
No, saving through insurance also, maybe the public needs to understand that insurance is not isolated. Insurance is guided by the law of contract. And as per the contract law of Uganda, whoever is eligible to enact a contract or to be part of the contract is also eligible to have. In simple terms, anyone who is above 18 years can be eligible to buy an insurance policy, although there could be special arrangements where minors can also be entitled to have insurance policies, but anyone who is above 18 years. So largely that's a sizable number of Ugandans. I think over 50% plus.
Yeah, because for our population, according to Uganda Bureau of Statistics, for every 10 persons, you come across 8 are below the age of 35.
Yes.
So that means it's quite an...
Yeah, it's quite a number. So we are looking at around 20 million plus. Actually, in our statistics, we have around 22 million Ugandans who are eligible for at least an insurance policy. At least an insurance policy. Because put it this way, if an average person can put aside 2,000 per day for protection against anything like death, anything like incapacitation, you know, these road accidents, you can get incapacitated. Anything like the cancers around, you know, the drives that we do to take people for treatment, you know, there is all that.
These car washes.
Yes, the car washes that we do to
save souls.
Yes. If we had built a culture like the way the Indians have done it, to appreciate insurance right from early age, and be able to put aside some little money, not only for saving, but also to have that component of risk protection, would be well off. Because, for instance, it would take a kid who has been born today. Today is 23rd of February, 2023. For instance, if you have gotten a kid now, that kid will be going to school in the next 5 years, isn't it? Then, so you can put aside some money. For instance, if you put aside 2,000, the 2,000 we're talking about, 2,000 per day, and you're consistent, you're putting aside that amount of money. Do you know that you can structure, you can tailor a product such that by the time you do that consistently for 5 years, someone has gotten some cushion to protect him against the high school fees? That's the case in point. That is if we have embraced the saving culture right now. So people need to appreciate that insurance is not that expensive per se. It's just the fact that we just need to appreciate and be tailored for that product that might suit your needs. I've given you a simple example. 2,000 even cannot buy food here in Kampala. But if you put 2,000 per day for 5 years, we are talking about some sizable amount of money, which can be a good cushion for you to take your kid at least for some years in early primary, as you're also moving on. But the beauty is, should anything happen in the 5 years, then you can get multiples of that money that you've saved. That's the beauty with insurance. That's how it's different from all other savings avenues. Because you see, you can have your community groups or schemes or niginas, as they call them, where you do rounds and you give each other money.
We all contribute, a million.
It's rotation. It's rotation. Yes, a million, and then at the end of the period you give the person another person. But you see, some of those initiatives are good, but they don't have like fallbacks, because you see, well, you might be able to contribute today. Once you are out of the question, what happens to your family? It's nothing, because you see, you are the breadwinner, you are the head of the family, you contribute to make rounds. Now, for one reason or the other, you might be taken away. Okay, God might call you, and then you pass on. Then what happens? So, you are out of the equation. But remember, you've left behind the family. What happens? So, what we are saying here, if you had an insurance arrangement, like though you're doing those Nigina rounds, like though you're doing those group rounds, where you contribute, let's say 5,000, at the end of the week you give someone, you could equally reciprocate that through an insurance company. And it doesn't need to be quite expensive, because you can even do it on your phone daily. You were talking about daily, so which means that you can just dial a code and then deposit that 2,000 there. The way you could do the Nigina rounds, such that at the end of the month you have raised maybe 10,000 or 15,000. So that money will be there for you as a saving, but not only saving, but is also meant to give you protection against things like death, things like disability, things like incapacitation, things like occurrence of a dreaded disease. So now here you're hitting two birds with one stone. Saving, one aspect, but also in the event that you are away, then you get multiples, which we call the sum assured. Then you get multiples of that money, because death has happened, it has taken you away, but now life has to continue for the people you are working for. Life has to continue for them, because for them, they have to continue going. So now that lump sum comes in, not only to take care of them, but also to take them through education, to take them through, their other stages of lives.
Well, now I want to go to the hard question that our viewers watching us, I know they're wondering, and this has also puzzled me, because for a number of times I've been able to witness this. This insurance is a very good thing, I must say. But it has one challenge, is how do I benefit from it when eventuality happens? I've heard about 3 accidents when driving, and I have a motor third party. But even when I tried and told the victim that I think I have an insurance and they should handle you, I later saw it would have to come back to me. Then we are talking about saving, and the good thing with saving through insurance is also insuring yourself in case of uncertainty. But making these claims and see them have the light of day, then this person is reinstated, is another issue. I want to tell you, if we could get communication from the viewers, many will tell you, you have this motor third party, you have comprehensive, but comprehensive they kind of hurry, maybe because they are doing well with comprehensive, because most of the people have had that insurance for their vehicles. Well, they'll simply tell you, you'll even wonder, and he says, no, the insurance gave me another car, or they worked on my car and all that. Why is it hard? Because I think this is one of the things that demoralizes Ugandans, to go into insurance and they will only go for things that they know they are compulsory. A traffic officer will stop me. If you ask a taxi driver, what is that sticker for in your car? They even tell you, Mr. Government kutubirako sente. Because he has never seen this insurance work.
Yes, it's quite a good question, and there have been some cases around people thinking that it's hard to get through a claim, and
indeed hard.
It's hard to be paid. Yes, yeah. One thing which we have to tell the public is it's never hard. For as long as you have the right paperwork. The challenge Ugandans have had is that at times a few elements want to profit from insurance. Remember the first thing I told you? It's about indemnity. We put you back to where you were. We've had cases, someone is insuring a car, he arranges the dismantling of the car into parts and then sells them, maybe even across the border, or the car is sold across the border and it's nowhere to be traced within our jurisdiction. And he has come to claim. Because you see, he insured the car, he sold it maybe 10 million, and he also has come to claim the 10 million. And so now you see, he's trying to profit. And now when we tell him that, okay, we've received your claim, let's first do some investigations. You know, I think these are the cases. These could be some of the cases that are coming on board to say that, these guys, they are telling me this, they are telling me that, they are telling me go here, go there. That would be one case. Also in life, we've seen people faking their own death. Yes, people faking their own. It's a culture which we had read about in our books, or also maybe in the news, in developed markets like South Africa, like in the Europe, where someone could fake death, or maybe someone could kill someone intentionally to profit from his death. We've seen those cases. But what we have to tell the public is that, just like I've said, the insurance is a contract. It's a contract which you have to understand. The contract is between two parties, for instance. There's one who is willing to take your risk, and you're willing to give a return for the protection, which we call premium. Now, one thing which has eluded many, not only in insurance contracts, but also in our sort of culture, in our sort of work, is that Ugandans, I don't know whether Africans, but Ugandans, we never read. We never read. You'll be like, okay, where do I sign? Where? Tell me here, here, here. I don't want those papers. Just tell me. Like, for instance, yes, I paid my signature. For instance, people who are taking loans through agencies, through banks, through circles, they don't want to read through. They don't want to know. I've come for money. I have money. A need for money. The only language I understand is money. Show me, let me sign. Show me where I sign. Don't tell me your English. Don't tell me your literature. Don't show me papers. I just need to know that when I sign today, Tuesday, Wednesday, I get the money on Friday. That's all I need. Now, in there are terms and conditions to the contract, that you should have A, B, C, D. For you to get this money, there should be this, this, and that. You know, those conditions are always there. Now, people never get to take the initiative to understand. Because, for instance, you take a loan, you take a loan from the bank. People don't know that implicitly they have paid insurance for it. Meaning that should you pass on, your family shouldn't suffer with the loan. Yes, the insurance company will come and then take over the bank loan. Pay it off. You get it? But just because you are hurrying, you didn't let your family know, rather, you didn't let your family know that...
I've seen many people who have passed on and their marital home is taken because the father had a...
Yes, it could be other arrangements. It could be other arrangements, but primarily, because we know banks are risk averse, they want to protect themselves against different risks. But the one who is going to be party to the contract, the one who is going to take the loan, the borrower, ought to understand that that there's some bit of protection, or maybe he has to ask for it, that these charges which are taken off my 10 million, what are they going to do? I've heard about loan insurance. Where is it? If it's not there, claim it. Claim it. So, such that someone goes into a contract when he knows that, okay, I've taken 10 million from this organization, at least I'm covered up to 10 million in the event that I die. Not in the event of defaulting. Yeah, in the event that I die. In the event that I die. And if it's not there, please claim it. Because you see, why would you take a loan and not insure yourself against the death we talked about?
True.
Because you know when you never know when death will strike. So even if it's not there, I urge the public to claim for it, such that you know those deductions. So in the same spirit, when you're taking up an insurance policy, ensure that you understand all the terms and conditions. That for you to be compensated, this should happen, this should happen, this should happen. Such that you know, by the time you get your contract like this, you know that I've got my contract, and these are the terms, A, B, C, D. People don't know that if I insure, for them they know that anything which happens to my car, I will go for insurance. Not knowing there could be some, what we call some exceptions or exclusions, which will prevent you from having benefit, or from having compensation. So people need to understand that for this contract that I've gone into, these are the terms, A, B, C, D. So should any of these happen, then I'll be compensated. What normally happens is that people just sit back. For them, they know that I have insurance for the car. I don't care. Even if I drive the car when I'm drunk, I'll be compensated. But it's also violating the laws of the land. So these are some of the things which people need to understand. You need to ask your insurer, what are those terms that will lead to me being compensated? What are those terms that will make my compensation be hard to be realized, or not realizable and payable? So these are some of the things that people have to look out for. But however, if they have also challenges in terms of interpretation of the contract, in terms of understanding, in terms of, because you see also that contract has the roles that you, the owner of the policy, has to play. Because the company plays a certain role, but you also have to play a certain role. In terms of, for instance, life contracts, paying of premiums. People pay premiums and think that I can pay at any time. The 2,000 we talked about every month, someone thinks that, okay, I can pay February and then I come back in December and then I pay all the months. You get it? So some of the things they need to understand them. So they need to understand the role they have to play as people who have bought the policy, and also the role that the company has to play as the one which has taken on the risk, such that there is that sort of understanding. And for purposes of clarification, for purposes of understanding what their role is, they can always reach out to us, they can always reach out to the regulator. There are other affiliate bodies that we work with, the different stakeholders.
Now, what happens, as I go for a break, what happens to unclaimed monies?
No, it depends. It depends. The unclaimed monies, in which sense? Because, for instance, the way insurance works, most insurance policies, if nothing happens, there will be no return. Because
I know some packages are tied to a particular period of time. I know either this person was insured, then the load calls upon him.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe nobody knows that they are even insured, or someone doesn't follow up. Where does that money go?
No, that's...
Because I thought that is how you insurers make great money, yes.
No, it's not true. You see, it comes to the role that you have to play as a person who has bought insurance. For instance, people think that, okay, I've gone into a contract for 10 years, I'm supposed to be paying 2,000 per month, and to me, I can wake up in the 7th year and then pay all the 6 or 5 years back. So to them, they think that this is little money, I can even pay in the last year. The contract doesn't work like that. The contract might stipulate that you pay every month. Maybe you don't even exceed 3 months without payment. So if you exceed 3 months without payment, you should be reinstated back. You should be reinstated back. Or go into some bit of arrangement with the insurer to moderate your payments. There's what we call redating. There's what we call, you know, there are a lot of changes that can be done onto your policy, because you could have financial challenges. Then you say that, you know, I have financial challenges. You put this on hold. There are some arrangements under that framework. You put this on hold. Then at the end of the year, or I can communicate when I can be back to pay, and then I will fulfill some conditions to be reinstated. Maybe a medical test, maybe, you know, they have to assess your state of health. There are those arrangements. So you have to discuss with your insurers to know what are those conditions that are possible for me to take on in the event that I have been faced with this bit of challenge. What normally happens that, for instance, if someone has been...
Maybe we shall pick it from there.
Okay.
Let's just go for a short break. We'll return shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash hands with soap, it means clean hands for all. This is a message from the National Hand Washing Secretariat.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you so much for being with us here on UBC TV. Once again, I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono, and with me in studios, I have Bengo Badiru, who is a life medical and pensions officer, Uganda Insurers Association. Well, we are talking about things to do with insurance, and to be more specific, we are looking at saving through insurance. Did you know that you can save your money through insurance? How equipped, how knowledgeable are you regarding insurance? Which insurance package are you having is covering you? And are you aware that there is something tailor-made for everybody in insurance? And well, you need this shock absorber in case of any uncertainty. It could be burglary, it could be a fire, it could be even health. Most of the times we've heard of the issue health insurance. We need an health insurance as a country. Well, that is a topic still going on at very many forums. One of the things that comes out is an health insurance. But today we are specifically looking at you saving through insurance. Now, Bengo, one of the things that really is remaining a problem to insurance is building public trust. You know? What are you doing as this association to build public trust? That much as you've explained, given us all, knowing the technicalities, the biggest challenge may not be money, that Ugandans, most of them live hand to mouth. But the fact is their mindset, their trust, their confidence, that if I give this amount of money, truly, I think they have gotten more negative stories than the positive when it comes to insurance.
And unfortunately, the positive ones, when you want to bring them out, people will be like, people don't want to bring out, because we've paid out death claims. We've paid out COVID reliefs. You know that in COVID, we paid out. People who died of COVID, because you see, normally the way insurance works, pandemics are normally excluded. But we went an extra mile to say that no, even if it's excluded, ideally it will be excluded because of a pandemic, we shall go ahead and pay. We paid out death claims. We paid out medical expenses. So there has been also some positive stories about the people who've paid out, but also it comes from the fact that people do not understand what the contract is about. If people knew that this contract is A, B, C, D, I will be paid under A, B, C, D, there shouldn't be any reason for them not to be paid out. We have a toll-free number. If people have issues about insurance, this company didn't pay me, I moved up and down, they asked me for my father's land title, they asked me. We've had those stories.
You've knocked someone, were you the one driving? Was it your wife driving?
All those questions.
Is that located by my driver? Where's the appointment letter for your driver to prove you was the driver? And you like people.
All those questions. And the good thing at the Secretariat, we run the motor third party sort of platform, where we address also concerns to do with the motor third party. Stickers, claims, and all that. So they can reach out. Maybe I can just give out this number for them to reach out to us in the event that they have had challenges with the payments, in the event that they have had challenges with claims not being settled, or a company not following up or honoring its claims. It's 0800, it's a toll-free number, 0800 10 10 50 50. That is 0800 10 50 50. That's our toll-free number. Should you have any issue to do with insurance, claim not being paid, you were tossed up and down, but it doesn't necessarily mean that them tossing you up and down, we are going to ensure that you're paid.
Yes.
You know, we make sure that you understand perhaps what was the reason for you to be tossed up and down. Maybe the condition which happened was not insurable, or was not insured, or maybe you didn't fulfill some of the conditions that you're required to have in place. But however, we have gone an extra mile to ensure that we pay out. And we have also gone an extra mile to ensure that we tailor products for the different niche groups. We've worked with affinity groups, and we have tailored products with them. For instance, we worked with the market vendors to tailor a product for them, such that in the market, someone can do that saving sort of policy to be protected against days when he will be short of cash. But also covering things to do with disability and critical. You see, in life you cannot escape from disability, death, and funeral and all this. It is part of us. It should be part of us. We should move with it together. So our members have tailored the products to meet different affinity groups, like the market vendors, like the migrant workers, like SACCOs and loans. So that now we first of all address their needs, because the challenge has been that we have those technical products, those conventional products, which are not tweaked the needs of
the ordinary.
Yeah, the ordinary Ugandans. So the first thing we have done is to address the needs of those different groups, and we have come up with different micro insurance products to address their needs. That's the starting point. So that if we address their need, then we can be able to make them appreciate and buy the policy, but they know that I have this policy, I'm paying 2,000 on the phone every day. That policy will cover for me funeral expenses, for instance, to an amount, let's say 2.5 million. You could pay for as low as what I told you, as low as 6,000 to get up to 1.5 million on death in a particular year. So someone who knows that should I pass on, God forbid, should any person within my family, or should anyone that I know of that is covered under that policy pass on, then we shall be given 2.5. Such that now that person knows that the reason for me to get that 2.5 is death which has happened. So we are doing that drive, but we're also doing the sensitization. And also we are creating platforms within our members such that now we can be able to track claims, to be able to track compensation, to be able to track this sort of payouts, such that we ensure that at least we understand what is being paid out, for us to be able to make the public appreciate that indeed we are really paying.
Well, indeed, they are really paying. That is from the man I'm having in studios, who is from the Uganda, that is the Uganda Insurers Association. And he says, well, study that contract very well, understand it. you need to secure your life, your property, that of the loved ones, by having a specific package that, well, you are part of. And today we've been focusing on saving through insurance. Well, Bembo, time is not so much on our side. Let me have your closing remark.
Well, the closing remarks would be that you can reach out to any of our members. We have over 30 members, and ask for the product that you think will address your needs. Come up with what you think would be an ideal product for you. We have done our best, and we are working on improving our product portfolio by working with different entities, different groups. Now we are developing some products for the SMEs, MSMEs. We're talking about the micro, the medium, the small, and the micro enterprises, a tailored product for their sort of risks. So we are coming up with different sort of products to address their needs. Then once you've got that product, try to understand what the product is about, what's going to be covered in that product, so that you know, because information, there's that saying that information, so if you have information, then you have power. So you know that this product covers A, B, C, D. Now, in the event that a claim happens, first look at the contract. Does it cover it? Yes. If it covers it, you will be right paid. Because we are well regulated, we comply to the rules of the land. There is no way you can be paid when your claim was justifiable. But in the event that you have any challenges, you can always reach out to us. We are located at Acacia, Lot 24, Acacia Avenue. It's called the Uganda Insurers Association. Our toll-free number is 0800 10 5050. That's 0800 10 50 50. You can always reach out to us and then ask anything, or maybe place a complaint about any member, and we shall guide you and we shall help you out.
Well, first, I'm happy that you now have an association that brings together all people in the insurance business. That is very good. And you've promised that, well, you regulate your members very well. So where the public feels cheated, where the public is not satisfied when they go to make their claims, they have a place to go to other than court. And we pray and hope that many Ugandans will embrace insurance. Most of the times I want to talk to traders, the SMEs. Many times I've been able to cover when their property has been destroyed in fires. I remember what used to happen at Parkyard. Of course, it's no longer there. Recently in Kisenyi, that is in a Kikajo zone, we saw where fire gutted these business people. And one thing that came to my mind, are they insured? If they're not insured, then, well, hell has befell them. Our schools are burnt, and the school we never see it again resurface. Yet if it was insured, education would continue. They'll just manage for a small time, then insurance comes in and all is done. But we have been looking at saving through insurance. Embrace that. You get your money, but also there is a benefit that when that time expires, still you get the accrued interest to your savings. So it is the way to go. Let's embrace that. It's not for the rich, it's for everybody, because there's something tailor-made for everybody when it comes to insurance. Have a lovely day. Happy Ash Wednesday. May we see the reforms happen in our lives as we are in this Lent period. God bless you.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala.